James, have you ever gotten into it with an official during a game?
No, I don't think I've ever had harsh words for a guy in black and white. But question for you, Tom. As a player, I can appreciate the fans and the presence they take. You think about the dog pound, and you go to the Oakland Radio Stadium, and you hear how loud and rowdy those fans are, and those people pay to be at the game. Do you agree or disagree with the fact that an official has the power to eject a fan if there's no harm done, to get a guy kicked out of the game for harassing them? As a ref, you understand when you walk in the stadium, half of the fans are going to love you, half the fans are going to hate you. It's a part of the game. So do you agree with the fact that, if I'm heckling the guy for making bad calls, some of which are probably warranted, that I should be kicked out of the stands because I'm expressing my opinion, which is within my full right to do so? Third down is the money down. If you can stop them, you put your offense back on the field. If they continue, then they extend drives and they make the game real long for your defense. So I feel like that's an area we can get better at.
Where were you best at? If you were going to critique the defense from 2011, what would you say? You know what? That was our best part of our game. What would it have been?
Well, if you look at our defense, we were, able to handle adjustments well. We had new guys in week week out.
That's for sure.
It was like a revolving door with injuries and, new guys coming in. And then if you look at the latter part of the season, our run defense was actually pretty good. So, we improved week in and week out, and we set ourselves up for coming into this year strong.
Do you wonder about when you talk and you hear these salary cap numbers are $9 million over the cap, they're going to have to do something, and normally in the big picture of things in the National Football League, $9 million is not that great of amount of money that you can tweak contracts, get guys to sign an extension. I know people have wondered about Steve Smith maybe signing one more extension with this team. There are ways to get under the cap. Do you read those things? Do you look at those when you go online and look at the football stuff? Do you look at that stuff?
No, not really, because when you talk about money and salary and people's contracts, that's a little bit above my pay grade, and I don't think I have any say on who to bring back or what they do. So I'm quite sure that Coach Rivera and Marty and all those guys, Mr. Richardson, have it all under control. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't think about other people's monies. All I can control is preparing myself and getting ready for the season and doing the X's and O's.
These guys, and I don't know if people know this, but most of the NFL officials it's a part-time job. They work on now they have to prep for games and stuff. A lot of these guys are accountants, attorneys, dentists. They do other things. Now the league is thinking about hiring at least 10 guys full-time to be officials. Is that something that the players would say, that's a good idea?
Well, it's definitely something to think about when you got guys who officiate for a living, and that's all they do. They can, perfect their craft, but when you have any kind of call that a judgment call or that a human calls it, and you're watching the guy right in front of you running full speed, that's a very difficult job to do. So I don't know if it's going to go positive, negative either way, but it could be a good thing for us.
They talk to you much on the field, the officials, during the game?
You can say hello and see what's going on. Say, hey, bro, what's going on with this call? What happened, man? But it's more of a, it's not the fan hounding like we hear at basketball games or none of that kind of stuff, because, we can get fined. But, there is communication, and you got to, express to the ref, hey, man, look, he's holding me. And, we say a few things here. Hey, bro, he's holding me, man. Look what's going on.
So, as far as so they don't walk up to you and say, hey, that was a nice play you made over there, or that I didn't think you were going to chase that guy down. They don't say stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know how much they say. 50, watch out, and you're close. They'll warn you about things you're doing, because in the heat of the game, it's their job to make sure they get the fouls and the penalties and those kind of different things. So I'm not quite sure if in the middle of the play they're like, man, that was a great run. They're looking at, okay, did the offensive lineman just pull down that D tackle?
But June Jones was coaching the Falcons, and there was a holding call on a kick return. So he called. He called me Billy. He says, Billy, come over here. Let me show you something. So they're watching the big screen. You can see everything. It was the overhead shot where you can see everything going on. You see the kick. You see the guy for Atlanta running it back. All right, no contact has been made yet. And you see the official reaching in his back pocket. He says to me, he goes, all right, now we got called for holding here. We've got no contact yet, and this guy's already reaching into it. He says, what does that tell you?
You're ready to go. You're ready to go.